back to Spring Into Math 8. I'm Mr. Burns, and today is the first lesson in Chapter 11. And that lesson is titled Two-Dimensional Congruent Figures. Let's take a look at what that means. Let's start with our basic definition. Congruent figures are figures that have the same size and the same shape. Okay, so same size, same shape. That's a really basic, easy slogan for you to remember when thinking about two-dimensional congruent figures. Now, something else you should think about while thinking about two-dimensional is something that is laying flat. It is not something that you can actually pick up and hold. That is what we refer to as three-dimensional. So remember that two-dimensional is flat, like lying on a table. Okay, here's a visual and an example of what we're looking at. So on the side with the rectangles here, we have two different rectangles. One's green and one's red. Now, we're going to say that these are not congruent figures because they are the same shape, but they are different sizes. So if I were to actually lay them on top of each other, they would not line up perfectly. One would be a little bit smaller. So if I laid the red rectangle on top of the green rectangle, you would actually still be seeing part of the green rectangle. That's why they're not congruent figures. However, on the other side, we have a funny looking shape here. These are called pentagons, or a type of pentagon. These here are what we call two-dimensional congruent figures. They have the same size and they are the same shape. If I laid them exactly on top of each other, they are the mirror image of each other, so you will not see any overlap. So, matching angles are called corresponding angles, and matching sides are also called corresponding sides. Pretty simple. Let's take a look at an example. So here we have a red triangle and a blue triangle. The triangle that's red is triangle X, Y, and Z, listed by the letters on the points of the triangle, and the blue triangle is triangle KLM. Okay, now let's take a look at these a little bit further. On the bottom we have Y to Z and L to M. Those both have a 1 hash mark on them. The 1 hash mark actually represents that those sides are congruent sides. They're the same length. We also have the line YX and LK. Those have the 2 hash marks on each side. Those are also called what we call congruent sides. These are important things to know. And lastly, we have the side KM and XZ, and they have 3 hash marks on them, showing that these triangles have the exact same lengths for each side of the triangle. They are congruent. Now let's look at the interior of these 2 triangles here. We have some swooping lines. We have a 1, a 2, and a 3. What that basically means is that angle X and angle K at the top of the triangle are the same measurement. So if I said that angle X is 50 degrees, we would know that angle K on the other triangle is also 50 degrees. These are corresponding angles. Very important for you to know. And we have angle Y and angle L that are corresponding with the 2 hoops, or the 2 swoops. And the last angle we're looking at here on these triangles is angle Z and angle M. They have the 3 swoops on there. So in review for this lesson, remember that congruent shapes are two-dimensional. They lie flat on a table, not 3D. And we have corresponding sides and corresponding angles when we look at different shapes. And those can be represented by what we see here, some simple hash marks or some swoops in the corners of the triangles. That's it for today. Catch you in the next lesson.